Okay, calling to order the meeting of the Ad hoc Grants Committee for July 7th at about 2:30-ish, 2:32. Present Chris Fowles, Diana Fetterman, and Kate Swistek-Rooks. And Ed may or may not join us. And Dan LaValle from Park Commission may or may not join us. So without going into multiple agendas here, I don't have anybody waiting in the public land to give us any commentary, so I think we'll just jump right in.
Just come help us.
I know. So I think I hate to keep putting off minutes, but I think we will, just because we got to work on this guy. So we're in the last stages, obviously, of this park grant. And I'm just going to pull up the latest narrative thing so we can work on that first. So first of all, before we jump into that, you got the notice that the DOT grant, the shared spaces and streets, came through. Pretty cool.
Yay. Yay.
So that's nice. So
I hope Randall's happy.
Well, I hope so. I mean, Rick is already emailing me saying, this is what are your next steps? Can I talk to you? And I said, honestly, this is really Randall and Ed to do the next steps. I mean, I'm not the highway super person. So anyway, hopefully they will, take the next recommendation. He kind of outlined what they needed to do. So hopefully he provided a little bit of a shortcut process, which is the intent of this whole thing. So I'm hoping I'll get in touch within the next day or two here, but that's, great. So just proves that we can do it at some point. So here we are with version 5.5. What I tried to do, and Kate worked on it a bit last night, and so I tried to take some of the things that I thought were a bit different in terms of where she had things, and I incorporated them into what Diana had already gone through. And I don't know, I think it's pretty much all there. What I think is fine from my point of view, and I'll is just this lead in terms of just talking more about the park itself. But I think we could think about whether this environmental education paragraph belongs up there or more toward the end. But the parts I highlighted in blue were just the real differences between the two of you. So the blue is what Diana had, and then the yellow is what Kate did. So
I think they're both, honestly, I reread it again before the meeting. I just, I don't know.
It's all the same information. It's just grouped differently.
Yeah.
I think you just reordered it a bit, right?
Yeah, I try not to change it because it was really well written.
Yeah. No, I didn't see much change.
I think Dan deserves some credit here too.
Yeah, some of this was original. Yeah.
Yeah, I like the idea of starting that first paragraph with more general stuff about the park. I think that's good up there. I might take out a few of the proposed, because there's a whole lot of when we say the proposed. And I think it's pretty clear after a while that it's proposed.
Proposed, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So the first couple paragraphs, are we pretty much okay with? I think
so.
Take out in that first paragraph, you have the sentence beginning, the proposed walking path. We had the proposed path in the sentence before, so just take out that proposed, maybe. Right. I mean, it's a small thing, but
sure.
Okay.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Then we have a proposed splash pad. but
well, that's okay because we haven't mentioned that before, but and then that next paragraph I think is good.
Yeah. I changed one thing. I think it said political events, and I changed it to community events.
Okay, fine. Yeah.
And then, then down in the environmental education, I mean, I think we tried to address it. I think this is, a nice paragraph that describes what's going on. If you can describe, Diana, if you're the one that started this, the library holding summer reading programs, topics such as birds of prey and a traveling zoo. Can you tell me, is that like the the local farmyard barn animals, or is this really a
No, I think it's
wild animal?
Forest Park, and it's been a few years since they did that. I don't know how often they do that, but they have been. I think Forest Park would bring
Okay.
you know, animals. I don't
Okay.
know. I just figured it is, you know, somewhat
Yeah.
environmental.
Yeah.
You could
But how
take
about
out that
and
example.
well, or say and sometimes a traveling zoo, or I don't know.
Um, or or you could say with topics that have included birds of prey and a traveling zoo. That, you know, that doesn't make it sound like, I think it's Tom Riccardi and his raptors, you know. I think he's been there more than once, that have included birds of prey and a traveling zoo, and just take it out with that. I did take out the orchestra because I realized it was environmental and that didn't apply.
That includes birds of prey and a traveling zoo. Okay. And the scout groups, fine. Okay. I think that's. I
Okay.
think I'm fine with all that. So then,
Okay. Yeah.
so I think that the main thing that happened here is that Kate jumped in like right about here on yours, Diana, with the pathway
Where?
diverting the seniors. So
Yeah.
her yellow is her beginning instead of your blue.
I also think that the it's not just seniors that benefit from the safer walkway, that reduced exposure to vehicle pollution. I'm just like, everybody benefits from that. Just saying.
Yeah.
Right,
I
but I
think
think
that was
this was
Dan was right. Dan really
yeah,
focused on them. And, um,
yeah. I mean,
so you're
and the reason
saying,
the reason it fit here is because this was the intro to the walking groups that do walk already down the highway. There are the groups from the senior center. So that's kind of why that fell in right there, focusing more on the seniors. But instead of those first couple of sentences, Kate kind of started right in about here. If you look at the yellow, so this is her alternative, starting with the walkers here. So using the
yeah,
sentences that are there, but just reordering them.
fine. Yeah, I've kind of lost what's going on. So whatever you think is good is fine with me. The
Yeah,
only
I
thing I
agree.
noticed in glancing at it quickly was two paragraphs that began with also offers health benefits
Okay.
with Kate last version. Keep going down. So we just had one that it often, if we keep that, and then when you go down later, see that a walking path through offers residents and visitors health benefits. So wait,
Mhm.
I guess you would delete the blue stuff. Is that what you're
Yeah, that's what
saying?
I'm saying. Yes, sorry.
Oh, okay.
So
All right.
that would be the choice. That would be the choice. So it's either the blue or the yellow, I guess. So I think it's all the
Okay.
same information.
Well,
It's
what
just,
about the percentage of seniors?
that's further down. So,
Oh, that comes
so,
up again later. Okay. Oh, I
so,
see. Yeah. Okay.
so she's just beginning with this, with walkers in general. Um, and then the senior benefit. So I think this is all the same.
It's the same content. I just wanted to say, like, everybody's going to benefit from having a safe walking path. Like, one of the like, kids are going to have a safer walking path than along College Highway, right? Um,
Yeah.
and I thought that there was a lot in there about specifically seniors, and I'm not
But
think,
that could be part of our environmental justice group. We're making it ADA accessible for part of a reason too, though, right? So,
of course.
so I mean, I think we can't ignore them for sure. I mean,
I do think you have to include like people who use walkers and canes because
yeah.
I had put in a
um
sentence in the beginning opening paragraph about walkers and strollers, I think, to like
No,
to focus on
it
the
was
ADA compliance.
it was already there somewhere, unless it got lost again. Um,
just says differing mobility levels.
I'll have to look at it. I don't think I took it out. I didn't intend to. No, it's in this one. It's in Diana's right here. A new pathway will encourage those. Oh no, wrong one. Wait a minute. Where'd it go? I lost it. Okay, well, maybe I cut out something that I didn't intend to. Oy. All right. Well, yeah, it was driving me a little crazy, frankly.
Yeah, we got a lot of stuff going on. And...
Yeah. So, Robert Floyd. What? Why? Okay. So I guess our choice would be to go, either some of this blue area or some of the yellow area. But if neither of you have a big complaint about it.
I put in the first paragraph, it says facilities are requested within. Wait, are we even there yet? But I put walkers must cut through the grass and uneven surfaces in order to get from one side of the park to the other.
I put that. Yeah, I put that more toward the end.
So I feel like as long as it's in there, I feel like it's helpful to just highlight that because it is, I mean, you do have to cut through grass.
Yeah, you cut through grass, but you cross. I don't think you cut through uneven surfaces. So maybe like cut through grass and cross uneven surfaces, something like that.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Well, I'll do one more final double check on that couple page narrative and then get back to you guys. It's not worth editing
Yeah, I think it's really good no matter.
I do think it's really good too.
I think we're getting there on that. Hi, Ed. You came in as Robert Floyd. You confused me.
Oh yeah. I wonder how the heck that happened.
That's what your name is.
I was Kathy Federici, so.
Oh, I know how. The last time we used this for Zoom would have been for his moderators meeting, and I changed the name for him.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
probably. Okay. Good.
Cindy Palmer, her granddaughter, she was Eraserhead. I like that one.
Yeah. Really? So I'm going to get rid of this one here. Hold on a minute.
Oh, yeah. That's my burden here.
So okay. So I'm not sure where to go here. So this is one. Come on. Okay. So Diana has done up a cover letter to the Natural Heritage and Historical Commission. And we've got a nice map, which I'll put up in a minute, that Dan did that I think we can use. But then there's this project notification questionnaire that's a bit different for the historical people that we would still have to fill out. So this would have to go.
The agency name, what agency exactly are we applying to? I'm not even. What is part?
It's the Office of Environmental and Energy Affairs or something. At the state. Yeah, no, I'll find that if that's what that means. I thought.
Now that's what that means there. Who's going to fund it?
All right.
I'd have to down them and the Community Preservation Committee for Southampton.
Okay. Yeah.
And it says Executive Office of Energy and Environmental Affairs.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll make a note here.
So a lot of this doesn't have too many, there are obvious questions here.
So I'll just attach the project narrative. Wait a minute, go back a bit. So there's no construction, even though
No, well, I mean, we're making a path. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I guess you call it path construction.
I would think that would be construction, right? Because you're going to need to do some leveling work.
Digging.
And digging.
Yeah. And the splash pad would have concrete.
I'm going to try and shrink this, guys. Come on. Yeah. Let's see if I can move this thing here. God darn it. Come on. Oh, I'm so tired of these guys. Come on. You guys are seeing this form, right? But it's not
I have
moving at me.
USGS quadrangle map. So my internet was down.
And
I
that's
was
what,
trying to look around. Yeah,
yeah,
you
I
have to
definitely
have
don't
that.
have. Well, I don't have that unless Dan can find it. I don't have it. So we never got
I've
one
got
of those kinds.
USGS quadrangle map. USGS quadrangle.
They're like section maps. They're called section maps.
I don't know why this won't let
I
me
just
do
have-
anything. Okay, so
Oh, there
maybe
you
here we
go.
go. There it is. Finally, it's wouldn't grab it. Sorry. All right. So
Should I say about the schoolhouse? Is it in the area of potential impact or not? Not really.
no, it's on our map, but no, it's not. It's nowhere near any impact. No. So there's no demolition. We're not rehabbing anything. New construction. You know, we have no construction plans. That's part of the design phase. So there's nothing we can really do. We can show the, you got the map that Dan did for us, but it's going to be putting in a,
Yeah.
ADA pathway basically. So they call that construction, I guess it is. Historical total acreage. No, we don't have it broken down like that, but the park itself is 18.55 acres, but we certainly don't have it broken down. There's no, I don't know how to answer these questions. I don't know.
What would the
I
total
don't know.
project, what do you think? Yeah, the total project acreage, what would that be? Woodland, wetlands, we don't think any.
Well, we'd have to, do Dan's multiplication, right? I mean, the 900 feet by 5 feet by 6 inches and get some square footage and then turn that into an acre. I don't know.
Yeah.
Wait, so acreage of a proposed new construction. So you would take the estimated size of the splash pad. I feel like, okay, it would just be.
Nobody will tell me what the estimated size is. That's the problem. We don't know that.
Yeah, I feel like we can't really say that because it's really going to be so budget dependent. Okay, so 900.
900 times 5 feet times 6 inches will get you something in terms of.
You don't need 6 inches because that's not gonna. It's 4,500 square feet, and then how many?
It just depends if you want to go to cubic yards or not.
No, it's
okay.
an acre is 4,560 square feet. So it's 4,500 divided by.
You can put it right into
about
Google Converter.
It's about a tenth of an acre at most, right?
560.
All right. So there's a part of this that.
It's like 0.11 acres. With the splash pad, it's gonna or 0.1. Hold on, let me tell you. If we do a 40 foot by 40 foot, that would be a very big splash pad. 40.
Yeah, why don't you make it 25 by 25?
25. Okay, so that would be. $625. So that's like
even that's quite a bit, guys. I'm sitting here in my living room. My living room is like what? 12 by 10? I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, 20 by 20.
I'll tell you in 1 sec. So it'd be 0.40. So it'd be 43,560 equals. It'd be 0.118 acres.
We'll say 0.12 acres total.
0.12 acres is a.
Including both things.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Well, good enough. So I guess what we really need is the map, which we'll have to figure that out. Okay.
I just texted Dan and asked if he knew how to get a quadrangle map.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, maybe I have to send this by mail, by certified mail. So maybe I can do it but also we can attach the cover letter from this to the
Right, we have to,
application.
right, we have to show that we've applied or asked the question. So we have to have the cover letters attached to the application along with this map. And let me find the map, because I don't think, Ed, you've seen the map. Oh dear. I don't think I have it handy. Hold on.
Okay, don't worry about it.
That's okay. I had it a minute ago. Where'd it go?
Oh, so the quadrangle map it's just a type of map. So
But it has to be the USGS. It has to be from them.
yeah, I'm on
Locus.
USGS.
Oh.
Yeah. So
It says you have to send a copy of the USGS locus map with the property boundaries clearly indicated. That's the thing I don't know.
yeah, these things are just beyond ridiculous, frankly. Okay, so
Who
you
could
can't
do
see that.
that for you?
Well, see, some of this stuff, I mean, we've got the, God, we've got the assessor's map, but that doesn't really help us here.
No. It said
So,
you can attach additional maps, but that can't replace this map.
yeah,
So we could do that for it.
all right, so just remind me, you've sent in a letter to Natural Heritage, right, with Dan's map?
I did that today with Dan's map. You
All
just
right.
had to send it in, and I even know people there, but it didn't say to send it to them. It just said send it to this, mass.gov address for them. So I did.
Yeah,
And this other one, it says do not email them, send it certified, registered letter. But we can attach a cover letter to the application in case we don't get this map and all. And I can't write on the PDF on my computer for some reason, so I have to print that.
Can anybody see this map or not? No?
Yeah, we can see it.
Oh, you can? Oops, I just lost it then. Sorry.
It's
It was there.
beautiful.
I think you did a good job on it. Yeah, I think you did a good job. So this is this is the best we got as our locus map. So we've got a East Street, Clark Street, Route 10, etc. With phase 1 pathway over here, proposed splash pad, pathway phase 2 proposed over here. Okay. Now, as Dan and I were talking this morning, one of our main little problemos, guys, is that, we talk about the accessibility from College Highway, which is our intent, yeah? However, if you notice, the sidewalk here is on the other side of College Highway. There is no sidewalk until you get to Heritage Books. This is a blank. This is blank from this place to Heritage Books. And then certainly from here down past Rice's house. I mean, it crosses over right at Clark Chapman to get down into Clark Street, but this whole spot is blank. So we don't really have a sidewalk on Route 10 that's connecting it. I mean, it would have to go again, some sort of cross the road. I don't know.
I kind of feel like there is a sidewalk, right? Can you cut it? Well, you would have to cut across the street. So
there's a sidewalk here, but it's way down here. So if our entrance into our new path is right here, there is no sidewalk. The green is the end of the sidewalk at Heritage Books.
Why does it end there?
I don't know, but Dan said he looked it up and that's what he said. I meant to drive down and I didn't look at it again. So anyway, we're, I don't know. Anyhow, so that's what we know. What else?
Could we say something like, as we work on extending that sidewalk or something?
Well, that's probably though a DOT kind of issue rather than this grant kind of thing though. But so I'm not sure how we deal with that, but
where's it stop? Right by the fountain, Chris?
No, I think it's back above that. There's nothing at the fountain area. Come on. Sorry, hold on. Because see, it crosses right at Clark Chapman, and I think Well, yeah, the fountain might be around here.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
it technically would still be accessible from the parking lot.
I mean, it's just the road between the sidewalk and the
yeah,
path.
yeah. So, I mean, I guess we don't, it's, we're too far into it to worry about it now. We'll go with what we got,
Yeah. I mean, if
Um,
we didn't notice, maybe they won't notice.
they're gonna come do a site visit, remember?
Oh, right, yeah.
Anyway, so the other thing, while I have this up, we weren't sure, up past the tennis courts, there is this sort of intermittent-y type stream, almost wetlands area here. And so Mark Reed had said that we might have to ask Concom for an RDA, a request for determination of applicability if we're dealing with wetlands. So Dan approached Marla, and then Marla and I talked, and Marla is willing to help with a form, but she said you can't just put in the form, you've got to file a site plan. And that's something that, it's a typical thing that Mark Reed and Heritage Survey does all the time. So without a survey plan showing the map, showing where the wetlands is, she said you wouldn't do any good to file the RDA. Anyway, without it, you can't really file it without it. But she was recommending that we stay 100 feet away from whatever that wetland area is, and then we don't have a problem. So Dan was going to go down and measure again to be sure that where path is here, it's 100 feet away from this area that's sort of a wetlandy area. And if so,
Where's
then we don't have to.
Where's the pond?
Huh? What?
Where's the pond? I don't see it.
What pond? That's
There's
way
a
down.
pond, there is a pond in there.
Way down in here, no?
No,
Right
back up.
before, yeah, right somewhere right around there.
Well, but I think that's part of what, I don't know whether that's really an intermittent stream or what that is, but yeah, there's water that comes across from the other side of the highway. Yeah.
No, there's a real pond. It's like right
Yep.
behind the,
Oh.
maybe,
Well,
yeah, maybe.
yeah, you're right. You're right. You're right. It's like right in here somewhere then. Or
Yeah.
I
Or
know
maybe there.
yeah, we can see it from the courts, but I mean, her point was to measure from whatever the outside of this tree line is here over to where we want the path. And if that's
Yeah.
100 feet, we're fine. We don't need to worry about it. Because not only do you have to pay for an RDA, which is not that expensive, but then you've got to pay $200 or $300 to put it in the newspaper for a legal notice, etc. But she said no matter what, you can't do it without the typical site plan that Heritage Survey usually files with these things. So that's on Mark, and I know he's on vacation, so that isn't going to be happening. So Dan's going to remeasure and hope that we're outside the 100 feet, and then we don't have to worry about it. What else here? So the other thing I was trying to show on the and I did find on the gosh, I hate my Zoom. I'm really just, Zoom is just not my friend anymore. It's really giving up on me here. I did find on the state website that we did file or sign a community compact back in 2016. So that's one of the questions. Did we sign a community compact? I did find it. It's just a one-pager that Liz Moulton, the chair of the former chair of the select board, signed. But it's all about more administrative type best practices, because the follow-up question on the application itself is, if you signed it, describe your sustainable development and land management practices. Well, it has nothing to do with that. So unless there's a complete document that has many more pages to it, all I found on the state website was a first page that said it was signed in October, I think, of 2016. So anyway, a little more research to do on that part, obviously.
And back then, they may not have gotten into the land practices.
That's true, and I wonder if maybe there was a more recent iteration of it or something. I mean, that's a possibility, I suppose.
Yeah, very well could be, because I noticed in that one, it's just got the general piece about development and economic development impacts or something.
Yeah. Well, and some of it was even, you know, it was HR related. It was, you know, it was a variety of things. It wasn't anything to do with land. So I don't quite know, but I'll do a little more research and see. So this, we've got the first page here. So it is 18.55 acres according to the deed, Diane, or according to the assessment.
Can I just interrupt quickly? I also need the street address of the park for the
The best one I've found anywhere is the corner of East Street and Clark Street. There is nothing else that I found that gives an address.
Okay, the corner of East Street and Clark Street.
That's, and
that's Conant Park?
Well, I think that, or, I mean, because it's, you can't really say Route 10. I mean, even on the assessor's map, I don't think it gave an address.
It's funny, I looked it up in Google and it said 28 Strong Road. So I think everybody's confused about the Google or the address for Conant Park.
I think I've used 34 East Street because the library, I think, is 32 when referring to it.
34.
Okay, well,
Okay.
There you go.
Sounds good. That's fine with. Good. Let's do that. Do we have a fax number, Ed, that we ever use?
Yes.
Town Hall?
It's 413-529-1006.
Oh, and so Ed is the contact person, not Mark Reed and all that?
Well, I think so, only because Mark doesn't have a separate email for Park. There's nothing for Park. And Ed is actually the CEO. Whereas I think, Ed, you said Rini would be the chief municipal officer, right?
No, Rainey's the CEO. I'm the CMO.
Oops. Okay, sorry, wait a minute then. Okay, wait a minute. The contact person, usually not the chief municipal officer. Oh, crap. All right. So, so then I should make that mark? I can. He doesn't have a separate address. I guess they use town hall, from what I understand.
That's what we've done with Marla on, just use her town hall number and address.
Okay, all right. I give up. Yep. Never mind. Park Commission.
He's not planning to step down, is he? I hope not.
I have no idea. I don't know. And Ed, was this number 7 at College Highway? 210 College Highway.
Yeah, ours is Suite 7.
Yeah. So I'll put that because there's no other address that I know of for Park. Correct. Right?
You said 24, right? 34. Sorry. Okay. Right. I'm gonna redo the environmental justice map, which was also flagged the wrong address. So.
Yeah. So this is the address of the Park Commission. Okay. And so Ed, just to be sure I'm right, the phone is 0106, but then the fax is 1006.
You are correct.
How convenient. Okay. All righty. So then we got the 2-page narrative. Yeah. So then this is where I was trying to fiddle with part of the budget last night. So I ended up going with 5,000 for other because that was a blank space and I thought we should put something there. And I looked at that as probably some fundraising through the banks or some businesses, you know, for benches or some other kind of support. But the way I'm understanding this, if we request 100,000, basically our 66% share gets us right around this much if I did the math right. So somebody just check my math on that, but I think we're somewhere there. So if we take 156 156,005. Is that right? Wait a minute. Yeah, the total project would be 156,005, and then 66% of that would be what we can ask for park. So is my math right? Okay. All right, and then we'll go back into the budget in a second here. We're a small town. These couple things were easier to check. That's not a big deal. Community preservation, yes. And I don't think we have to show, I'm trying to find out if we have to show that we've applied to community preservation now. There's an application on their website if we do need to show that we're applying for that now, even though, you know, there won't be an answer. I got to double check that. I don't think there's any outstanding leases or restrictions that we're aware of. It's permanently in the lease, in the deed rather. It does talk about it being permanently dedicated for a park. And I'll have a copy of the fees from Paula Mack. And then this is all the stuff from the open space plan that Diana did.
We don't charge fees for attending the park. It's just for the
renting
pavilion.
The pavilion. Yeah, renting the pavilion, basically.
So would that be yes or no? Like,
it's a yes.
What park?
Well, I mean, it's a yes, and then you're going to attach what it is, so you'll see what it is. It's the fee system. Right. So for the facility includes the pavilions.
I think you got the baseball field. Does the SCAA pay for that? I don't know.
Does the SYAA pay for what?
SYAA, yeah. Do they pay for the baseball field using those?
I don't know. I think it's more just, you know, are we getting any income from the park, and are we being restrictive by what we're charging? Or, you know, I mean, I think it can't be restricted to, you know, it's open to anybody. So we have a fee schedule for the pavilion that shows resident and non-resident fees.
Right.
So I think that would be sufficient. So then we've got
number 2 under the goals. Is there more? Because it just cuts off that we just can't see.
Yeah, and that's the problem, is you go over here and then it has an up and down arrow.
Oh, I see.
So it's all there. So when they see this online, they'll do that. What I don't understand is how I'm supposed to print out a hard copy of this.
Oh.
I don't get it, because this is a fillable PDF, and so even here, all the stuff on the how it ties into the statewide recreation plan, there's a ton of information that you wrote here. You know, I mean, it's all there.
What happens if you just try to print it? What, like, if you just hit like, well, maybe it'll expand the text box when you print it.
Yeah, just try printing one page and see what happens.
Yeah,
or
I guess.
Can you save it as a PDF?
Yeah, this is a fillable PDF right now that they allowed me. I mean, I'm not actively online. It was a fillable PDF that I can do now, and then I've got I don't know. This looks like it's just an email attachment to go back into the state, along with then a hard copy mailed in. So I need to go back in online and be sure that there isn't anything else online, but it's unlike the others where you go in online and you stay online and do what you need to do. And it didn't give us any limits of any wording anywhere. And this, I mean, I don't know how you can describe how it meets these goals unless you put everything in. I mean, there's 4 goals that it meets, but I just don't know how you keep that visible to print out a hard copy on it. I mean, maybe there's a way to do that, but some other magical person might know that better. But so that's a challenge, which I don't know. And then there's this whole thing about whatever we're going to do here. So they want to know flyers, mailings that were distributed, and list here where they were distributed. So this is a piece that we'll need to get from you, Kate. I've got a copy.
So I'll fill it out. So I just wanted to say, I looked into there's a lot of different information if you look in the EJ policy. So there's actual rules about if you're within a certain boundary of an EJ community, what you have to do. So I think that news article that Holyoke was doing open, like an open meeting format to get feedback from townspeople, like they're doing that because it's part of the requirement to apply for the grant, because they're within a certain distance of an environmental justice community. I feel like it's really hard because we're not doing it about Southampton. We're trying to get feedback from outside the town, but we did post it in a few different places and on multiple community forums. And if you want, I can share the survey. I mean, we have over 200 responses. I was hoping to get a few more from Holyoke, but I mean, we can skip it if you want to. It's just it's a lot of work.
No,
but we did we made flyers. I'm sorry?
Yeah, so all the work you went to, I definitely don't want to skip it. No. I'm just saying that what this talks about is putting in any flyers or mailings that were distributed. So what I've seen from you is the social media blurb, and I've got a copy of the blank survey itself. So that all can be some attachment, but we'll just need narratives to say, you know, the process that you and Dan went through Saturday or whatever. So it's, you know, you can just write a paragraph or two about that and I'll put it in this document, okay?
Yep, and
So
I'll give you a copy of the flyers too, because we did post flyers in a few places to kind of fulfill that requirement.
Right. Okay, and then we may have an article from the reminder.
Did those people talk about coming to Southampton? What they would like to see in Southampton?
Yes, so we asked that specific question. Well, we asked what people would like to see in a park, and about like almost every single person who participated said that they would be willing to travel to a neighboring town if a park featured the amenities that they wanted to see in a park.
Good.
So what were some of the things that they wanted to see that they don't have?
Well, it's not what they didn't have. It's what we didn't ask what they didn't have. We asked what they'd like to see in a park. And let me pull it up. So, well, 71% of people who responded said they go to parks for play equipment. 66% so far said they go to spray parks. 60% said gardens and scenic views. 83% of people said that they go to parks for walking paths, which is interesting.
Yep.
17% for exercise equipment, 32% for fields and courts, and 65% for pavilions and picnic areas.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So yeah, so I think some level of the process and all the different ways that you went about gathering the information, and then the results of your online surveys, as well as your hard copy surveys or whatever you all did in-person surveys. All of that would be absolutely relevant information here. So even though we're not environmental justice, we have reached out to our neighboring communities to try and make that known. And we do probably need to do another one, since you have your Survey Monkey until the end of the month, I understand. We probably need to do another one just for Southampton itself, to follow up on the open space plan and just reconfirm, in another way, other residents' opinions about what they'd like to see if Conant Park were able to be renovated, kind of thing. So
I was figuring we could cut it off at a certain point. Like, honestly, I was gonna say like tomorrow, and then I was just gonna write a paragraph about how exactly what I just said, and maybe do some screenshots of the actual results from the survey.
Yeah, I think you could even go Friday. I mean, Monday I think will be the absolute drop dead day to get this sent off, because Wednesday's the real deadline to get the hard copy in hand. And if we mailed out something hard copy on Monday, overnight mail, I think it would arrive in time.
Okay, I'll do it. I'll get you that paragraph by Friday, including all the input, and see if I can grab some more Holyoke results.
I mean, if we have enough to get rid of it on Saturday, I'd love to be done with it Saturday, but I just don't know that we will. I mean, the budget is the nightmare, obviously. So this thing on the community compact, I'm going to look a little bit more. This is the dumb question that went along with that. So please list these best practices included in it. And like I say, I didn't see it in what I pulled up from the state, but there may be something else. So there might still be a hard copy in the office somewhere, Ed, if I don't know if Judy had a chance to really dig too far, but it would be from 2016 for sure, under Liz Moulton's time.
Yeah, just gonna look again tomorrow morning.
Yeah, that's fine. And then the MVP plan. So we just talked about how we completed the workshop, and we recognize that open space and parks provide opportunities for recreation, blah, blah, blah. Community acknowledged a limited cooling capacity in town, and MVP report cited as a priority the need to explore options for open space cooling and access improvements along water bodies, which I don't know that we have too many water bodies. So come on here. See, that's what I don't know how to do this. So there's a little bit we threw in here on the plan. I just don't know again how I can print this out, but online it's not a problem because I'll just do the arrow thing. But housing choice, we're not a housing choice community, as far as I know. And none of these things, as far as I know, I mean, check if they're applicable. So I've checked no, Diana, on the historical and the heritage, but
Correct.
I think I think we still have to send those letters off the way
yeah.
I understood it. Yeah.
Well, I'm
And
gonna
then,
just to reiterate, I'll send you a copy of the cover letter to attach
yes,
to the
yeah,
application. But
right,
I don't know that
exactly.
for sure we're gonna get maps and all that stuff, but we'll just work on
Yeah.
that.
Well, you don't have to have any response, but we can at least show that we've reached out to it anyway. But we'll see about that map though too. And then the environmental justice population. Kate, you had done a bit of a map or something here. I don't know if this was related to that or not.
Well, I made a map. I did a drawing of a map to show the proximity, and it's not on this computer, but I redid it with the distances from, like, we're pretty much 3 miles away from the I think it's about 3 miles from the closest EJ neighborhood in both Westfield and Easthampton. So I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah. Okay. I didn't.
But
I'll send you
a map. I'll send you a map that I put together with that'll kind of shows the distances.
Okay. And then if you look at the application itself, this EJ data viewer, I didn't click on it to see what if it's something.
I'm wondering if it's the same maps. I'll look at the application and make sure that it's referencing the same maps.
And all this was acquisition, so we can skip that. You don't need the appraisal. And then down here, I did check. Well, right now I checked what I'm going to uncheck that because I'm going to see if Dan will measure that first. So we're going to put no and no and no and no and leave that blank a minute and no down there, I think. And then, then the chief executive officer's legal authorization. So Ed, see, that's where I'm confused. You're the one that's actually signing contracts though, right? So this, I would have Rini. I mean, that's where I was confused, where she might be the municipal officer and you'd be the CEO, right?
No, she's the CEO. I'm the chief municipal officer.
Okay, so does she have the legal authorization to execute contracts? Because we're supposed to attach a certification of it. That's where I was confused.
Right. Usually with these things, they have a signatory page that authorizes someone to sign for it. And
well, this is the signatory right here.
Yeah, but usually there's a separate page that says authorized signatory, and then it's signed by the CEO saying who's the authorized signatory, and then that is like notarized by the town clerk.
Yeah, that's not this one. That's the
Well,
signature right
they're
there.
not
is all
asking
it
for it.
is.
Then you don't have to go through
Yeah.
that. You just gotta have basically
Right, but
where it says CEO would be Rini, if it says CMO would be me.
Okay, so you're gonna have to sign this, which is fine. But then whatever this here, a resolution that, I mean, is that inherent in her role as a select board chair? Usually a page from the town city charter will satisfy the requirement.
Yeah, this is different from some of the other ones I've seen. We don't have a town city
Yeah.
charter.
Right. So maybe we'll have to look at our select board bylaw. Would it be there? Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. And then, so I guess if we're going to make Mark Reed the contact person on the first page, then there would just have to be some little note of authorization from you as a separate piece of paper that I would have to attach, saying that he's an official in connection with the application who will provide additional information.
Right.
Okay, I guess. I don't know. This one has got so many more crazinesses than it's worth, frankly. I don't think we really have a boundary plan of site. We've got the map that, the Dan has done, which is great, and we'll just go with it. We've got the deed. All I did for park maintenance and budget, we've put in there that, the parks is of whatever, four or 5 person volunteer committee. The highway department manages both Conant Park and Labrie Field with a full-time staff of 8 people. But the park budget is $2,000. I never did get anything from Randall if he had a separate little budget for Conant Park, but I don't know if there is one. Ed, is it just the park department expenses line? Probably.
I think so.
Yeah. So I don't know if Randall has a separate budget, how he breaks out his properties that he takes care of, but the other state review, we're doing that. Yeah. So the other state review, we're doing that with Diana. So we'll have the fee schedule, we'll have, I guess that's about it. We'll have the deed and all those kinds of things. So it's all kind of a mini nightmare here. And then the last thing I sent around to you all last night, and I don't know, I mean, Dan, every other time I get an email from Dan, it's like, well, maybe we should just do the park path and forget the splash pad. It's like, all right, guys, well, make up your mind. It's like, I'm not making the decisions here. So
I kind of feel like we already had a vote. I mean, you can't change it the day before, but we already talked to people about it. We've already gotten input. I mean, like we're
in it. I mean, whether we have a real chance of this or not is a real long shot probably, but we're so far in it. I don't feel like
you did a great job on the budget. You look like a budget expert, in my opinion.
Well, not really at all. And that's what fried me a little bit ago, because Dan came back and said, well, I think we should make the splash pad, more of a feasibility study and make it the smallest part of the budget. It's like, oh, that doesn't help. But
they don't want a feasibility. They don't even, I mean, I feel like we were also on the calls with Melissa, but they want action projects.
Right. They do. And he said that he knows, I guess, Owen Zarrett up in Easthampton, where you guys even met him at the farmer's market the other day when you were doing your survey. Anyway, he's on the select board, I believe, up there, or city council. So I said, look, talk to him and get somebody to tell us what Nonotuck's splash park size, cost, and how much water it uses. We need those 3 pieces of information that nobody can tell us yet. And all these wonderful articles about parks and splash pads are great for, $750,000, but that doesn't help us here.
The other thing is, if we would have to drill the well, that was my big question. I kind of feel like you need to.
That's more Labrie Field. That's
No, I'm
Yeah, that's
talking
really more
about
the
if
Bree
we
field.
would need to drill a well to support the water usage for this splash pad.
Yeah, I mean, could be. I mean, I don't know. They won't be in this. I mean, yeah. I mean, we're limited to the 100,000, so it wouldn't be with this one. But anyway, I was trying to model it after the budget that Stantec people did for us on the shared streets. And I think I'm going to take all this out because we don't have this information. You know, the
Right.
quantity, the units, whether it's tons or square feet, and the unit cost. We got none of this. So this is just pure pie in the sky, making the math work. And all I did up here was describe it. It is no, it's kind of describing the task. There's no, what shall I say? No detail in terms of, well, anything.
I kind of feel like she said that they're cost estimates for a reason, though. You know, we can only.
Yeah, true, but you're kind of supposed to base them on something. I mean, the best I did is I took Ed's idea of the so the design finalization is supposed to be the first year. So great. So I'm gonna get rid of these 3 columns basically. I'm gonna wipe those guys out completely. So design finalization's that first 6 months. So fine. So this is about, I think I put it up at about 14% of the total cost, which is a tad more than what you suggested, Ed, but it seemed to work okay. I don't know where my arrow's going here. So I think, yeah, I put, yeah, so the design is 14%. And then looking at all the stuff related to the path, it came out to about $41,000 of the budget. So that's about 26% of the cost. So the path was going to be this excavation, brush removal, these things. Those 4 main things is what I was coming up with as ideas. And hopefully, you know, even if we don't have to do any wetland stuff, that's even better. But I really have no idea on the, you know, compacting and grading, and, you know, there's got to be something out at the curb out on where it meets Route 10, I suppose. So I don't know. I was making stuff up, trying to inspire myself with other budgets I've seen. And then the splash pad part down here, pretty much this part, and I think I probably threw the landscaping and seeding in there too. Just if we had to, you know, reseed the grass or whatever. And so that came out to be about 50% of the budget. And they told us that they wanted to be sure that we put in construction supervision. So that's where that came in. So that's what it's looking like, but it sure isn't based on anything but my midnight thinking. I'll be honest. So I don't know. Are we comfortable with this? I mean, is there a way to get any other detail? I didn't know. Ed, do you think Paul Fergal could give us anything that would help us here, or anybody?
I honestly don't know. And you can reach out to him and find out, but I don't know.
Yeah.
The only thing I wondered if we should separate, well, what is the difference between pathway excavation and the like, should we break out the cost of materials? I don't know if it matters. I've kind of felt like when Melissa said, well, the cost estimate is a cost estimate, and this will be kind of sussed out through the design phase.
But what materials are you thinking about?
The stone dust materials, like, does it matter that we break it out even more? Like, I'm thinking that your estimate, what she said was that you have to be specific about the design and then the actual like implementation, because it's funded in 2 different years. So yeah. But then she said you're going to figure out the more concrete information about the budget, because we said we're trying to base this upon other projects, but we don't necessarily know. And she said, well, it's an estimate for a reason, right?
That's
You're gonna figure this out as part of the, I mean, we have 6 months to design it, and I feel like you're not gonna know until there's an actual design person who's saying, oh, you're gonna dig deeper here, or, you know, this area is gonna require more tree removal cool.
Yeah, well, hopefully we are not cutting any trees down. Forget that idea. Maybe a little bit of brush, but no trees. But yeah, the design finalization, I guess you're right on that. And she also mentioned that that's where you do all your construction drawings. I mean, that's what you're paying for. So just like, Bill Cannon drew the plans for the pickleball courts. I mean, that was like $7,000 or $8,000 just to draw the plans for the courts. So that's where I put in, 14% of the total budget here. But as you look at how this breaks out, the splash pad alone, I mean, and truly, I'm just really guessing. Nobody can give us anything to help us here. So this is like whatever, $70 something thousand, $75,000 on the splash pad and $40,000 on the pathway. So I don't know if that's the right proportion between the two, or it should be reversed. I have no idea. It seems like the splash pad is going to be the more expensive thing of the two.
You would think so.
I would definitely say, and looking at all the other budgets for splash pads, like I actually think that we might have to seek like more funding for the splash pad, if anything. But you're not going to know that until you go through the design phase.
Right.
Well, and figure out how big it is, right? Yeah. Go ahead, Ed.
And then they should let you alter your budget accordingly.
Yeah, I think she pretty much said you could.
Yeah.
And that you would, we requested a specific amount, right? So when you go to CPA to request that amount, you're not going to. I mean, how specific do you have to get to make that request? On the override, it was pretty vague. It didn't give you like a line item budget.
No, we don't have to have detail, but CPA usually wants you to have 2 or 3 cost estimates when you go to them. I mean, there's a little application form, which is very simple to fill out, but they want a cost estimate for whatever you're intending to do with their money, right? And I guess where I'm not totally clear yet is if we have to show that we've asked CPA, or we don't have to worry about that until later.
No, she said you have to, it has to, no, I think she said that has to happen by the end of the year.
That's the town meeting part, right? Okay, that's right. And that's where CPA comes in. So we don't have to, I didn't know if we had to show that we've applied to CPA now with the application, even though there wouldn't be a town meeting vote with any luck before December.
I don't think so. I don't.
There's so much, there's so many little details and rules and regulations with this grant. It's frankly crazy. I'll read again just to be sure, but I think we can avoid doing anything with CPA now, but we might want to just alert them at some point, that we're going to come to them for something to complete this whole idea. So anyway, unless Dan is changing his mind, I mean, at one point I thought he was going to say, well, let's just do only the path and do the first and the second phase of the path and be done with it. So, okay, but we know we're not going to score very high if we do that. So is it even worth it is this grant the right match for what we want to do if we did that? And I think it's a lot of extra work for nothing if we only do that without something showing climate resiliency. So as iffy as we may be on the splash pad and the whole cost of what it's going to be to operate it, again, it's going to be operated, 3 months, 4 months out of the year, and only when the kids push the button, right? So it's not like it's running water all the time, but it would be really nice to get a clue how much your basic splash pad might use for water. I don't know where to find that.
Really, like, I looked that up, and it depends so much on the sprayers that you use, and they make ones that are more water conserving. I mean, I think that's part of I think that falls into the design phase, right?
I guess I think so, and I think that's definitely that is part of ParkCom's concern. Is like they can barely have the fountain on a few days of the summer because of the cost of the water. So how do we justify putting in a splash pad that might waste more water? So I don't know, but I think we can try it, and worst comes to worst, hopefully we'll get some feedback and tell us how to do better. I don't know. So anyway, we still got lots of loose ends hanging out there to pull together, but it's getting a little bit better, sort of.
I think it looks great. And I feel like we put a lot of effort into it.
You're so optimistic, Kate. I love it.
I really, honestly, I am. Like, think about it. We went to Westfield. We went to Easthampton. We talked to some people. We talked to people in Holyoke. Like, I feel like if we're gonna give it a fair shake, we're giving it a fair shake.
You
like.
sure are. No, I mean everything that you've done on the environmental justice stuff. Absolutely. I mean you've logged the miles on that one. So thank you for all that effort.
What else are we supposed to do? And they have to, I mean, I feel like it's the same way with the shared streets and spaces. I feel like we even got letters of support for that. Like they know, they have to know that we're all volunteers. We're not, this is for $100,000. It's not $1 million, right? Like we really are trying.
I know. Yeah. So, okay. Well, okay. So, who's going to look for that? You talked to Dan about the map, right? The USGS
I
map.
shot him a text message, and I couldn't figure out how to actually pull up the map, but I'll tell him we need a quadrangle map of the park.
Okay, so once we get that, then Diana
with the project borders outlined, I think. Okay,
with the project borders outlined. Okay. Well, in the project, I mean, the project is what, the park? I mean, I don't know how or the path. I mean, we draw a big square around the path itself, maybe a rectangle around the path, maybe, or something. So
anyway, I have to sign off, so I will see you all. Thanks.
Okay, all right, Ed. We might see you tonight, maybe at Tech, or.
Yeah, we'll see how the rest of the day goes. Maybe for a short bit.
Okay, good. Hope so. Yeah, we need to get an update of what's falling through the crack here, so that Mr. Rooks can get on it.
Yeah, he and I have been exchanging emails. So
good. All right. Thanks for joining in. Ed. Yep.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Yep.
Welcome.
Okay, so I will do a little bit more digging on the community compact a little bit. Diana, you're going to look at that heritage form, and if you need more answers, just shoot an email at me, and I'll see if I can help.
I'll send you today the cover letter.
Yeah.
Which you think you already had, but just change the date and stuff like that.
Yeah, just send me the real one you sent. I guess that'll be fine.
There's a community compact on the state web. Oh, that's like the same thing, right?
That's what I pulled up. It's just one page, and it says that we signed it, but that's not a signed copy there that I saw. But it's all about, you know, HR stuff and admin stuff. It has nothing to do with land and best practices. So there's got to be another something. We might not have signed on to that. I don't know, but we can address it in the narrative a little bit. So then I think, Kate, the main thing, I mean, if you want to go to like Friday noon or something on the survey, I mean, I don't care. I mean, or Friday morning or Thursday night, whatever you want to do to cut it off. But then
I already have the paragraph kind of started. You know, I can send you what I have so far. It's on my other computer, but if it's better just to put it all together with a summary.
No, just put it all together and send me whatever attachments we want to use, and just talk about the process. So, physically going to X, Y, and Z places and putting it out on community Facebook pages for the following communities that resulted in X amount of, so I think probably the number of replies from the social media aspect versus the replies that, the in-person things that you were able to do, I don't know, they were all the same questions. I definitely
would specify that because they want to know that you've actually gone to.
Right, done more than what, right. And
we didn't do that in Holyoke though. That's the only thing I feel like we're missing, but we did Southampton and Westfield. I mean, like, it's just a lot of time.
Yeah, no. And were they the same questions in person as well? Okay.
We did the same. Yeah, we did all of the same questions, so we we combined the data online.
Yeah. Okay. Well, however you want to present it. I mean, just that's fine. But I think it would be important to show two different approaches. So yeah, the online versus the in person, and then hopefully tomorrow, Thursday, is the day that the reminder comes out, and perchance we will have a news article. So that can be nice. We could attach that.
Oh yeah, that's right, because that's another way of doing outreach.
Exactly. So, if we're We're covering our bases for sure. I mean, whether we're covering the right ones, I don't know.
That's kind of what after I read the expanded outreach for environmental justice communities, I was like, wow, that's crazy. They want you going on like news, like Spanish news channels, like it's just it's a lot.
Yeah. So, we'll do what we can do. And, like I say, I mean, we may be a long shot, but, I think at the same point, they're also looking for things from Western Massachusetts, because a lot of these that have been awarded, if you notice, have been, 90% have been Eastern Mass and the huge $400,000 amounts. So I wish I could feel better about the budget, but I don't know where else to go for it. So
what are you going to do? You could itemize it more, but I don't know that itemizing it is really going to, I mean, they have the general over, right? Like why? Because the thing is, it's probably all going to end up changing anyways.
Well, yeah, but I'd only itemize it if I had real unit costs on anything. And
right, but you don't.
Nothing.
So, right. So, and I think that's okay. I mean, maybe the only thing that seemed a little bit vague was the material costs for the walking path, but I also saw cost estimates that were done by foot or by square foot. So
yeah, but I mean, if you remember, the first thing I got, I think from Ed, from something he referred to, was only $8,000 for the stone dust. That can't be true, So it's like I don't feel like confident in any of the budget, figures there. So I think we're just going to have to leave it as general as we can to show that we've at least thought about the different tasks that would be involved.
Yeah, totally.
I don't know what else to do. I really don't know. So, okay. Well, any final thoughts here, guys? I mean, what are we missing? I don't know. What else? I've got the deed. I've got the one map. If we get that second map from Dan, that'll be good.
I'll do the environmental justice map. I have that. Do you want it to be like full-size page or?
No. I mean, I think it's got to be. I mean, it's got to be an attachment. So it's got to be any attachment should be PDFs, I believe.
I can make a PDF. I'll make a PDF and I can send that to you today.
So even the survey, all that stuff should be PDF if you do a copy of the survey and stuff.
Oh yeah, I'll make all of that into PDFs.
Yeah, they tend to want that. I'm just confused as to how the heck if this is all I have to do, if this is the form that I have to fill out, which is what I got from the state website for the grant, then this fillable PDF ends up being an attachment to Melissa or whoever they send it to, along with all the other attachments, right? But I don't get how I can print this out with all the hidden information. So I got to
it might expand the text box.
When I print it? Yeah, okay, well.
I think you'd have to print the document and not like do like a print screen, right? Like, but if you try printing it, maybe it would expand that box. I'm not sure. Sometimes I had to do some reports that it would actually like make the text box fit the amount of text.
Really? That would be nice. It's certainly not overly user friendly, but anyway. Okay, what else do we need to know? So Dan's going to get back to us as to whether that's 100 feet or not, and we can hopefully ignore the wetlands issue. I don't know. Oh, so back on the sidewalk part from Heritage. So do you think we should include a little piece in there about, or should we ignore the the fact that there is no sidewalk as you come out of the park toward Heritage Books?
I think we should leave it alone, and maybe in the future we could come up with like a crosswalk or something. Yeah. I mean, Dan got an email yesterday from somebody at the state level about safe streets. I saw some like small grants in there about traffic calming stuff. So maybe there's, maybe they could put in a crosswalk.
Yeah, I saw that. I think that actually, hopefully, that could be something we could maybe use in the future toward that whole Gun Road extension thing we were talking about, a bike lane on Gun Road extension or something. But
for sure,
we'll see. It's just going to take people to do it, and honestly, I know both Ed and Randall are going to be, overwhelmed. I mean, it's nice that we get these things, but then you got to execute them on the other end as well. So, the other thing, let's think. I don't think of anything else, but anyway, so I think this is, this is where we are today. So not bad. Definitely making progress. Oh, I know. Kate, you wanted to know whether in the overall narrative, which has still got that yellow and blue in it. So I'll go in and I mean, if anybody wants to go in, Diana, do you want to go in and make a final decision on that narrative? I don't care one way or another.
I can do that. I can, but should I send it around again and drive everybody crazy?
No, just make a decision and let me know. just do that. But Kate, you asked me a question earlier about whether we should put in the narrative, because I think we have room. It's a 2-pager, and it looks like we still have a little bit of room. Whether we should mention something about the whole environmental justice part there. I kind of think we should, just to acknowledge that. And maybe it's part of what you had said earlier, although Southampton is not an environmental justice community itself, we are within 3 miles, 5 miles, whatever, of
a bikeable, drivable, short distance from multiple environmental and maybe we could even reference the findings of the survey to say, 200 people from surrounding communities participated in the survey, and 95% of them indicated that they would be willing to drive to a neighboring community if the park had some of the amenities that they sought out, or something like that. Say, we're not that far away.
Right.
I can write up I'll write a couple sentences if you want.
That would be great. Maybe just shoot that off to Diana, okay? And then I'll let Diana incorporate.
I won't have a final survey result.
No, that's okay. Just put it, XX until we know the amounts.
Okay.
Just write the narrative around it, and we'll put the space in there.
Okay, that's a good idea.
And then we can just make sure, I appreciate everybody looking at, how things flow together. We've had so many different inputs. I mean, all 4 of us, and so trying to make it sound like one cohesive document is so thanks everybody for all your efforts on that. So. Great. All right, guys. Well, we're getting down toward the finish line here, I think.
In the newspaper business, we always say, go with what you got.
Yeah, thank you. Go with what we got.
Hopefully we'll get something from the reminder that's nice. That would be great.
Yeah, I think, I get mine tomorrow. I don't know when it really comes out, but yeah, we should, I guess. So that'll be in a good attachment, maybe. Hopefully, yeah, we'd have to contact Ryan maybe and get that. Well, I guess depending on how big it is, I can scan it in, but that's fine. Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'll get you my goal will be to get you a paragraph, and then I'll try to get you the stuff about the EJ survey by Friday. And if there's anything else, the map. And if there's anything else you need from me, just shoot me a text or an email.
Sure thing. Will do. Yeah, I will. So thanks, guys. Yep. Diana.
Thank you.
Anything? No. All right. Then let us adjourn at 3:45 thereabouts.
I'll make a motion to adjourn at 3:45.
All right, Diana. All right, let's go. I think we are adjourned.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
All right, bye now.
Bye.